And we're live.
There we go.
Happy WUFO.
Here, I'm going to play a theme song.
Okay.
If I can turn the battery on. Okay.
Okay.
I don't have a song.
Perfect.
That's the
Perfect.
It's
That's
WUFO!
yes!
Yay! I need to write a theme song. So, hi everyone.
Hello.
I'm Garrett, and that's Bex. And Jeremy is away. He's trying to fix his internet, and we have a guest tonight. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Oh, hey there. Yeah, there you go. That's your intro.
Yeah.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Adler. I don't know what things. Should I say things?
Things about stuff.
All right, things about stuff.
We just found out we have 1 degree of separation.
Uh-huh.
My father-in-law, kind of, not really related, was maybe going to be your PhD something or other.
Yeah, on my PhD committee.
Yeah. And you're in Florida, and there's a total, we figured that out.
Yeah,
through his jazz band Quanta.
Yeah. So if I didn't know you guys through, I don't know, weird Twitter, probably would have found you through a potential math professor on my PhD committee in a jazz band named Quanta.
Pretty amazing. That was weird.
So strange. But yeah, I feel like a lot of people don't. I don't know what people know about me and don't, but
what you know about you.
I'm fucking tired is what I am. But yeah, so I'm a chemistry PhD student. And so I do science. But I get to I do origins of life research. And so I get to do the weirdest part of chemistry out there, probably. And that's why I might know a math professor in a jazz band named Quanta, because I have to reach into a lot of strange things that are not just chemistry. But that's really it, as I'm a PhD student. So I learn more and more about less and less until I know a whole lot about nothing. That's what I'm doing. So I'm halfway to being a doctor, apparently.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
We're at the halfway point.
Congratulations.
That's disgusting. But yeah, so, and obviously I'm very strange because I am here among wonderful weirdos. So it's funny because I actually, UFOs was the first thing that I was obsessed with from the age of 5. When I was 5 years old, I heard about Indrid Cold, and let me tell you, little 5-year-old me was running around telling people I'm going to be a UFOnaut when I grow up. Forget your astronaut dreams. I'm I'm going to be a UFOnaut. So I was that kid. And so so UFOs was the beginning, and then eventually getting into monsters and then very much later ghosts. Ghosts was sort of the last thing, but I was UFOs all the way. That was it. And so
who's telling you about Indrid Cold when you're 5? How did that happen?
I really don't know. I think about this all the time, and it's I don't know how I found out about Indrid Cold. I don't know if I heard about Mothman, and then I didn't have a computer. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how this happened, but it's just very clear in my mind. I knew about Indrid Cold and Woodrow Derenberger, and I was this is the coolest story ever. I've wanted to go to Point Pleasant forever, just to be on the highway where that happened.
Yeah,
that was the intro. I don't know how it happened. Not a clue. But that's literally what started it. So I was literally the strangest child ever, and it didn't help that my dad was oh yeah, I grew up in a haunted house. My uncle's oh yeah, I saw UFOs over the town next to where you live, and all the time. Here are pictures. And so so I've never been stopped from being weird, but I also don't know that much about it. So I'm just sitting here I guess I'm getting a PhD, but can we talk about aliens now?
I love it because it makes me feel like if we were all little kids right around the same time, same area, we would have been buddies.
100%.
Exactly.
100%.
I love it so much. So I don't know if you get this question a lot, so forgive me if you do, but I'm always curious about if there was one specific life event that caused you to choose the direction of your PhD, or was it a culmination? I've heard both ways, so I'm interested in hearing about origins of life and why that's for Adler.
Yeah, so this is actually something I talk to my students about all the time because it feels very winding, but at the same time, it feels like it makes sense. So when I was 4, I'm very young when things have happened to me. When I was like 4 years old, there was that show, that Blue Planet show that came out. It was like that, all that, Nat Geo or whatever it was on. And one of those, I can find the exact episode. It came out in 2001 about the deep sea. And they showed all these weird fish. They showed all these little squids and little glow in the dark things. And they showed hydrothermal vents. And at one point, I just remember we had this TV, and literally the back of this TV was like this thick, like it was one of those big, huge honkers on the floor. And I was a little 4-year-old. And I literally got up, and you could feel the static off of it, like 2 inches away, from the screen. And I went up and like put my hands in the static and like stared at this TV, because at one point they had this really, really bad animation now of a little sub going across the bottom of the ocean. And it got to this big crack, and they were like, and this is the deepest part of the ocean. And it was the Mariana Trench. Yeah. And I was just like, I want to go. That was it. I was like, I just want to go to the Mariana Trench. And that literally, I still just want to do that. Like, that's all I want in life. I just want to go to the Mariana Trench. It's tattooed on my wrist. Like, I'm obsessed. And so that became my thing. I loved the deep sea. I just thought it was the most beautiful place ever. I think every fish down there is just like gorgeous. And so forever, that's always been in the back of my mind. And so like when I went to college, it was like, I'm going to study marine biology because that's how you get to the bottom of the ocean. And that path eventually just led me to studying like chemistry. But I was like, oh no, I still want to go to the bottom of the ocean. But in that studying chemistry, what started to happen was the kind of winding road where it was like, oh no, I like atoms. It was like, no. I like fish. What am I doing? Studying atoms. And then I took a course. I was very lucky to go to university. I did. It was a liberal arts college. So got exposed to a lot of things. So I was in philosophy courses, math courses, physics, chemistry, all at once. And at one point, I was taking a course in Greek philosophy. I was taking a course in waves and general relativity. And then I was taking physical chemistry, which is like quantum mechanics and things like that. And these classes fit together in this really strange way. Like they fit. And I remember I was like, I've never felt more alive. Like, what is happening? Like, what is this? I don't know what to do. This has nothing to do with fish. What do I, right? It was like wave mechanics, but it was like the big questions in philosophy. And I remember sitting there and they asked questions like, what is the origin of the universe? What's the origin of consciousness, right? These big questions. And I was sitting there one day and I was connecting all the dots of everything. And I was drawing like organic molecules. And I was sitting there and just like one day it was just like this, just like explosion. And it was like, what's the origin of life? Like, what are we doing? And I literally I went to all my advisors and I was like, listen, like, I'll never answer this question, but how can I look into it? And I moved to California and I actually did deep sea research. I got to touch deep sea fish and all of that.
Oh my God.
It sounds great till you realize you have to squish them. And so then I said, that's awful. And then I found this guy in Florida who studies the origins of life in pseudo hydrothermal vent chimneys, but it's all prebiotic. There's nothing organic about it. They are not alive as far as we know. And so literally growing gardens out of metals and how life may have begun, essentially a mineral. And so it's this idea of like life may have begun in a cave, literally like under the ocean, like in a small cavity in a hydrothermal vent chimney on early Earth. Like it could have started in the smallest place. And like, if anyone knows me, they know I also like love caves and geology. Like I'm so so into that,
Me
like
too.
underground, like, you know, that's a whole other topic. Like, I love caves. It was like, okay, you get to grow like a vent chimney, which is like, you know, it's the same chemistry. Like, you see chemical gardens in caves. That's why I go to caves a lot. Like, stalactites, those grow from chemical gardens. So life may have begun in a literal cave. And so it was this weird winding path. It was like, I like math, I like quantum mechanics, I like fish. And it literally,
Yes.
I told all my students, I was like, that it doesn't make any sense. And then at the end, I'm literally in a lab studying physical chemistry, which is like quantum. Like, I don't study quantum, but we talk about quantum. It's wave mechanics. Everything I do is wave mechanics. That's all it is just waves. Having to do with the deep sea. I'm mimicking like hydrothermal vents every single day. I grow fake hydrothermal vent chimneys essentially, and using that to like look into the big philosophical questions. Like, you know, we talk about people like Alan Turing, you know, we study Turing patterns, and we talk about philosophers like Aristotle, and we talk about Socrates, and we like, what? And so it's this winding path, but it's like everything. So
Oh my gosh.
so that's the path.
That's incredible, that culmination. I didn't realize this, but you and I also have like a fun sink around marine biology in Florida. So you and Garrett have a fun sink, and you and I have one now. When I was choosing where I wanted to finish my undergrad, it was between Oregon State for botany and which university was it? I think it was either the University of Tampa or the University of West Florida for marine biology.
Dang.
And I ended up being like, I don't want to live in Florida. That was the only difference.
So funny, because I said I'll never live in Florida, and here I am.
Yeah, exactly. I wanted to go like the photography route, and I wanted to like film like Sylvia Earle. That was kind of where I wanted to go with it. So fun sink.
Goodness.
I love it.
That's awesome.
Yes. Thank you for the awesome bio intro. We know a little bit about you now. This is great. Adler's been supporting us for a really long time with WUFO, pretty much since the beginning. So it was like a no-brainer to have you on. But I did want to make mention of a few things before we get started with like the main WUFO event. So every week we forward y'all towards a fund for donations. In the past, it's been things like the Trevor Project for LGBTQ youth and things of this sort. This week, we're going to be raising funds for the victims and families of the recent tragedy in Texas. You can literally just go to wufo.watch/donate. We've kind of done all the hard work for you, and that'll take you directly to a GoFundMe that was created by Victims First, and they help with these situations all over the country, unfortunately, because they're happening all over the country. But they are amazing, and they make sure that those expenses are taken care of. So going over to there, and we also have the direct link for any reason ours doesn't work on the WUFO post. Yeah, and then we have a stargazing side quest. Does anyone feel squirrely and want to tell us the side quest, since we don't have Madeline here yet?
Yeah, it was the. Let me look it up here. I actually, while we're on the subject of Madeline, they just had an awesome idea on Twitter.
Yes.
Did you see it? Which is, we need to like map out where all of our guest hosts have come from, and like
Okay,
try and
didn't see that.
fill up all 50 states. Like,
oh my
That'd
god,
be cool. Because now we've had Florida, we've had let's see, Alex is in Massachusetts, I think.
Katie too.
Rob was in Ohio. No, Katie's in Maine though, right? Or is she in
Oh,
Massachusetts?
Maine. Sorry, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. So we're starting to rack up the states.
We are.
Wouldn't that be fun? Like,
Yeah, it's a
I
great
love
idea.
it.
I love it.
yeah. Okay.
Fantastic idea.
I'm looking up the side quest here. Let's see. By the way, my
Cool.
internet.
Kai
seems
is
to
in
be-
Oregon. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. My internet seems to be okay at the moment, but let me know if I start turning into a robot again.
Will do.
Actually, let me know if I start turning into a robot anytime, regardless of whether or not my internet is working.
Oh my gosh, Jeremy, you can't say that because I've been watching this crazy show on Netflix. This wild show on Netflix, and it's called like Robots and Love and Death. And
Oh,
so,
I love that.
so I've been
Yeah.
watching it. They have a new season out, and what's funny is Adler was talking about fish and our collective love for marine biology. And one of my favorite episodes is when these two gentlemen break down in the desert and they start talking about ghost fish and all of the prehistoric marine animals, and then they appear. And I'm just bringing that energy into tonight.
That episode
That's what I did right before I
amazing.
started.
That episode is so good. Yeah, totally worth watching.
Yes.
So I found the side quest though. I don't want to
Great.
go too far off track, but yeah. So the stargazing side quest tonight is to find Corona Borealis, a lovely little semicircle of stars found near Bootes, the constellation where Arcturus, previous WUFO side quest star, is. And this is all from Maitland. I'm reading their description here. The brightest star in Corona Borealis is Alphecca, the pearl of the crown. And then there are instructions on how to find it. Find the Big Dipper and follow the arc to Arcturus. Then look for Corona Borealis, which is in between Arcturus and a bright star in the east called Vega.
And Vega is Vega is kind of a WUFO star for us, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
We thought it was a UFO, and I think it was just Vega. But
it was Vega.
But we had like a whole experience with that one WUFO. So
right.
And
it was okay that it was not a UFO. Like it was still just.
Totally.
Yeah, we learned about a bunch about Vega. Yeah, it became part of our sigil.
Mm-hmm.
It was so beautiful.
Yeah. Another cool thing about that they're doing is this stargazing for paranormal investigators class too.
Yes.
100%.
So yeah, if you go, actually I have a link for them. It's just wufo.watch/stargazing. You can sign up for their class on June 28th. I think it's like $20, and it's all about star hopping, they said, and how to like not mistake or which the stars get most commonly mistaken for UFOs and other things like that. So it looks really awesome. I signed up.
I did too.
Yeah,
I'm totally gonna be there.
So
and didn't you just get a reading done by them, Adler? Did I see that?
Yes. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I've been waiting to get a reading from them for so long. It's like I'm a poor grad student, but I was like, this is worth the money. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it. And so I finally did it, and so many things make sense.
Mm-hmm.
They were just because I didn't know what to expect, because like usually my friends are like, oh yeah, you go through and you do all of the planets and stuff, and they really dug into the things that I never paid attention to.
Mm-hmm.
Those were the exact things, and it's like everything makes sense. Like, why am I a Leo and all these dumb Leo things? Like, I'm like, I'm not a Leo. This is so stupid. They explain all of it.
Yeah. I had the same reaction. I was lucky enough to be able to get a reading last year. I gave it to myself for my birthday. And yeah, it was just like, I had never had anybody look at my charts or anything like that before. But yeah, I was like, whoa, they're talking about like asteroids and stuff. And I'm like, this is amazing,
It was so cute. One of the things, like, I will share this because it was so cute, like the way they did it, is talking about like my sun and my moon. And they were saying that the constellation of Cancer was like hugging my son when I was born. I was like, this is the cutest thing.
That is freaking adorable.
Like literally me who loves the ocean. Like, yes, a crab is hugging my son. Like, that's all I could want.
That's awesome.
So,
oh my gosh.
That's cool.
Oh.
So yes, the class.
yeah, I put up the link. Yeah.
Cool.
See, Jeremy, did you want to talk about unveil some new product things that we were been? This is like
I wait for Bex is back. Yeah. Do we want to do
Sorry,
that now?
just trying to escape.
Yeah, I think this is like a news section. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So we have some exciting news. I've been working on a couple of products to sell on Liminal Mall.
Yeah.
We've been wanting to branch out from zines and have some other fun things that are available as well. And so I've been working on a couple of products using locally foraged herbs. And so the first one, it's a magic powder for protection, cleansing, baths. So not only could you use it like in the corners of your rooms for protection, but you could also like put it in your bath if you are like feeling anxious and you need to like just chill out. So we're calling it Gatton Puff powder. Let me see if I. Yeah.
It looks so good.
Yeah.
The Gatton Puff powder. Oh, that's upside down. This is There we go. The sigil should be there, like
Okay,
that.
okay.
Yeah. That's one of the symbols from the Oracle of the Hypogeum. That's life force. And it's a seed with like a little baby plant coming up a bit with 2 cotyledons. So this has it's got sea salt, some of which I actually made from water here out of Puget Sound. St. John's wort, it's got yarrow, and then it's got a plant called Enchanter's Nightshade, which is like something I like to put into all of these herbal remedies. And this is like a 2-ounce tin, and there's a lot in here. Like that's quite a supply. So we'll have that available, and then the other one, very excited about. We're calling it the. So we named it after it's a dream salve. So all right, let me start from the beginning. The main ingredient, that folkloric ingredient in this is something that grows up here called fringe cup. Tolema. Do you remember Bex?
Grandiflora.
It's Grandiflora.
I thought so.
Anyhow, yeah.
Grandiflora,
So it's
grandiflora.
kind of like woodland plant. It's got this like arch, and it's got these little sort of bell flowers that hang off of it, and it's got big like leaves that come out like this at the base. And there's folklore around it. There's a couple of things. One of them is that woodland elves would eat the flowers, and they gain the ability to see in the dark. That's one folkloric. Other folkloric use is that it prevents nightmares. Specifically, there's a specific.
Oh, you're gonna get specific.
The nightmares that it was eaten traditionally to prevent were dreams about having Congress with your own relatives.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much that is like the definition of a nightmare to me, like a dream that should never be. So with that in mind, in the past, I actually have used this. This is not a brand new salve. It's one that I've made for home use before, but it has Tolema in it. And then this also has that Enchanter's Nightshade and some cottonwood. I use cottonwood oil for it. And the idea is that before you go to bed, or I guess if you want to see in the dark, it's a salve. It's an ointment.
Yeah.
So it looks like that. And then you just get a little bit on your pinky, and then you put it on your eyelids. And I've always had success having interesting dreams using this exact mixture. So we named it after the dream park near Garrett. If anybody knows about the dream park, it's called Arvon Park. And we thought about the raccoons who slide down the slide, and so this is King Arvon Dream Salve.
He's got a little bit of it on his eyelids right there.
Yep,
He's like
on his eyelids. And there's a crown too, which we almost didn't put on, but I thought that was interesting because the side quest tonight is Corona, which is crown.
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So what I'm gonna do is I have a bunch of these all made. They're ready to put up on the site, and tonight I'm gonna go put them out. And like do the UFO water treatment to them.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
These are actually going to be like hopefully infused with the energies of the WUFO aerial entities. And then they'll be on sale at Liminal Mall sometime in the next, probably tomorrow, but maybe the day after, depending on how things go. So.
Yep. And then I have one too. I have
Yeah.
about 10 of these. I'll make more, but these are called, oh my gosh. They're called witches' torches, and they're dried mullein stalks dipped in beeswax, and then I rolled them in some pink heather and lilac, 100% hand harvested except for the beeswax, and that was sustainably harvested. So yeah, I got these on the side of the road. Now I'm giving them to you. And they'll be on the site around the same time. I think we'll just do a collective drop at the same time. So expect those there as well. And then we
Yeah.
have like a WUFO merch store. It's a Teespring site, and you can find it on WUFO.watch. Posts every single week have it. And on Wednesdays we have free shipping. You just use code WUFO, and yeah, I made those designs and they're cute. And we're thinking of new ones. We got some more WUFO narration, like was it like our WUFO myths now that we need to visualize,
I like that. Yeah.
conceptualize into a design.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, real quick before I forget, I know it wasn't on the agenda. I hope that'll be okay.
Sure.
Uh,
I guess we'll forgive it this time.
no, last week we had talked about making UFO water so that we could try that
Oh, yeah.
ritual where you are going to we're going to try to invite aerial entities into the water based on a ritual I found in an old grimoire. That's still on. I just wanted to let everybody know, if you don't have UFO water, tonight's probably a good night to make it.
Yes.
You want to play along when we do that experiment.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Which should be fun.
It's gonna be great. I'm just on my like stay every Wednesday. I take it in and out. And I haven't cracked it open in like a month and a half, so it's gonna be extra juiced up, whatever that means for water. Oh my goodness. So let's talk about last week. Last week was kind of wild. I just watched like half of it back today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we had Vanessa with us, and that was cool.
Yes.
And you guys, it was really good. Like, it was really intense. Like, the two of you talked a lot, almost back and forth, a few times. Yeah. So that was really, really interesting last week. Anybody who missed it, if you want to check it out, join our Patreon. It's like $1. We'll just ask really nicely, you know.
Yeah, but like we keep it up for like 24 hours, sometimes a little more because I'm generous. And yeah, we keep it up for a while, so you have time to catch up on it if you'd like. But we do like to have privileges for our friends.
Did you notice anything when you rewatched it, Bex? Did anything stick out to you?
I was transcribing it, and it was pretty wild. I'm trying to pull it up now, but it was pretty wild. A couple of the times we really said the same thing consecutively, pretty much. Like it was really wild, and I love seeing Vanessa and Jeremy's reactions. I love seeing everyone's comments, and that was a really cool experience. I just can't wait to finish it. It was time management is a skill I'm still working on.
Really?
Anyway, yeah, we're all kind of there. So I'm trying to pull it up right now, but yeah, just a second. Is it under WUFO? Okay. So that was 18, yep. So there was a situation where I say, I'm seeing a harbor, full of sailboats and fishing boats, almost like looking at old pictures of one. And then Garrett said one. And we're like, oh, shoot. And then I said the shoes. Garrett says, oh, yeah. And I say the shoes. And Garrett says twice. I said the shoes twice. And then Jeremy said, is there anyone here with us? Garrett said, we are. And I start talking about looking through the night sky out of the window, and Garrett starts mentioning a direction. So we're trying to figure out what direction I'm seeing. And then talking about a whisper. Yeah, there's like a few instances like that where we even say the same number. We'll say, he'll tell me how many times I said shoes. It's very wild. And that's been like a very rare thing. I don't think that we've experienced it to that extreme, maybe like a one-off, but it was pretty consecutive. And I mean, I was only 9 minutes into that part of the session. I think I had like 11 more or so to go. So I'm excited to see the rest of it. But yeah, it was pretty cool. But I'm always interested in hearing about like, what Garrett thinks, because he was also under, so it's weird. We have like a big chunk of context missing. So I always love hearing from you, and if there's anything that maybe came to your mind after the session.
Yeah, same thing. I have the same time management issue, so I haven't watched it back. But yeah, I remember it I'm still getting used to doing it, so that's my main takeaway from it all.
Mhm.
But I'm excited about doing it tonight. We can try it in
Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? There was one thing I just thought of that I wanted to mention. So we actually had set an intent for last time, remember, about Vanessa's childhood drawings.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So she had these drawings from when she was
Oh,
a child of these like sort of gray alien looking figures. And there were a lot of there was a little bit more to that. You can go back and watch her. I don't want to talk for her, but we decided to try and contact those as though she actually was being visited by them in her childhood.
Mm-hmm.
And she did say that after she says, like, I kind of feel like that was it. Like that was what I might have been communicating with as a child and drawing. So, something like-
Adler, do you want to ask how you learned about Indrid Cold when you?
That's right.
Oh
Or
my!
you don't have to. We don't have to go there. But maybe,
How do I know it, Indrid? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I told Bex like I don't have like those sort of physical encounters. I always have weird dreams though.
Yeah.
Like I've had a history throughout my childhood of weird UFO dreams. I've had woken up with marks on my arm. So I've had that kind of stuff. But never beings. I'm very connected to certain crafts.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
wow.
Yeah, I was
That might
gonna
be a
ask.
fun. I mean, it might be fun to talk, or you could be in the process sharing your dreams and asking about those questions from your dreams that we don't know anything about. Maybe
that
there's
could be
information there. I don't know. Just an idea.
that could be interesting.
Yeah, and I don't really know. We've talked about the dreams, but we've never talked about them. Like you've never told me what happens in them or anything, so I couldn't. There's no way for me to guess.
Yeah, because I keep a
Wow.
lot of details of those because
Yeah.
it's not like I'm necessarily trying to keep them secret. You know, it's not like I'm sitting here like I will never tell anybody, but I keep
They're
them very
yours.
key just because it's like they're real. You know how dreams just sometimes it's like, is that just a dream? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to think
Yes.
about it, so I never know what to think. So I just leave it in case something, you know, like this comes up and it's like, well, we could see if people who know nothing can sort of tap into that because it's like it's been something in my life forever. Like again, like I've told Bex, it's like, yeah, I've had the little triangle marks on my arms which people get, and I've had dreams of craft, but I've never told Bex what the craft looked like. And you know, I never really have told people the details of those dreams or where they were or you know, that kind of thing. So.
Maybe you have some PhD research you can ask. So for some advice or something.
Yes.
Sure.
Where is the light? Where are we starting?
That's also true.
What solution do I need to run tomorrow?
Yeah, exactly. I love too thinking about those experiences where I often experience the dream phenomenon too, and that's one of I think the first places that we really connect was like, oh, we both have these really wild dreams with this hidden symbolism, and it's like a narrative throughout our entire life. What does it mean? Only I know this as far as I know. But I find that there's like some of my early on paranormal experiences. At first, when I look at them, I was like, oh, you know, it's a ghost, whatever. But I'm finding that as I'm diving more into our community, more into this research, a lot of us, including like AP Strange and I were talking about this recently, we kind of look back on those memories with a new perspective, and we have to kind of reevaluate whether or not those are potentially like contact from WUFO, from WUFO, from ETs and craft, like instead of just like for instance, when I was a kid, I'm not going to share AP's, but when I was a kid, his was similar. My mom tells me that she would walk into the nursery and see these like white beings standing around my crib, and she always interpreted them as angels because of her background. But I remember her telling me that quite a bit, and there was one time where I was sleeping face down and I was suffocating, and she saw one of them in there, flip me over, and like actually save me. And so, you know, it's kind of a thing that I haven't really thought about for a long time, because it's like, how like redneck is it to say like angels saved my baby as a kid? That's why
legendary. No, that's perfect.
But I'm like, holy crap. And then we're looking into all these different species now, since we're getting so many different things coming through for WUFO, like Palladians have come up, and I have like this Palladian rock, and I'm like, oh, those are light beings too. How wild. Like it's like these WUFO things are having a really personal experience with me too. And so one of the questions I had written down for you was, what do you have any experiences like that you may be reevaluating and thinking, I don't know if those were paranormal, those might just be straight up UFO, and your dreams sound like it fits that criteria really well.
Yeah, like the dreams, the more I think about it, I'm like, oh, and there was a time actually on Twitter where I was like scrolling, and this is actually probably the first time where I was like, are those just dreams? Because I was just scrolling, and of course, you know, my Twitter's filled with weird posts. Of course it is. And I don't remember who posted it because it was a random UFO craft picture, and I don't know if it was a random person or if it was like Rob Christopherson, right? Because
Probably Rob Christopherson.
it could have been Rob. So like it was either random or it was Rob. And I was scrolling. So it was a picture of these craft, and they weren't like typical UFO shapes. Like I won't give it away. Like I don't know if anybody. It was very random, but I had this just visceral. Like I saw it. I don't remember who. This is why I don't remember who posted it. I just got cold. I almost threw up. I was like shaking, and it was like, it was like I immediately just like out of just like, I don't know if it was like relief of seeing this thing. I'm just like, I just hit share, and I was like, I almost threw up. Like I put it everywhere. It was like that was it. That was it. It was that one. And it was like, wow, was it a dream? Because it's like, that was such a visceral, like just response, like a random thing. And so that was when it was like, oh no. But then also like, I mean, I had that like map submission, the one I submitted to the Liminal Earth map. And like at the time, to me, that didn't seem weird. I still don't think that was a weird experience. But then like you think about it and it's like, was that connected to like this stuff? Like, it's very, very strange that story. It feels kind of connected to this tangent.
Wow.
And that was the masks in the trees, right? Something like that. Yeah, that was such a cool story. Like, just visually, it was really, really interesting.
Yeah, and like really, like, you know, I don't know how many people. There's so many stories. How many people read that story? But essentially, I saw like masks in a tree, and what they look like. Really, if you want to reference, I know a lot of people in here have seen Hellier, and this. So this is when I realized it could have been something strange. Was when if you've seen Hellier, there's an episode where Greg in the second season is showing a book, and he was showing. I think in the scene it was like him and Tyler, and he was showing him this scene with like a toadstool that looked like a UFO in it. And then he's like, look up in the trees. And you look up in the trees and there's this face. And they looked almost dead on like that. But they were like theater masks, but they had kind of that shape in it. They were made of leaves. And it was like, oh, is that not a normal thing that like 8-year-olds just see? Like, is that not normal? So like after that, I was like, okay, well, I don't know.
Yeah, that's wild. I absolutely love that story. Thank you so much for submitting it because I've read it so many times. I think I've read it.
There's like a faces and trees thing. Have you noticed that?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's yours, Bex.
Yeah, I would love to look more into that. When I was in Kentucky in December visiting family, like I remember finding a tree face outside of this really creepy church in the middle of the national forest. It was bizarre, and it was like immaculate, but like so remote. But tree faces are a thing.
And then there was a tree face at in Starvation Heights at Olala. Remember that tree face? That was more like a whimsy, like, you know, somebody had like bought a little wooden carving and put it on there.
Gosh. Did we take a picture of that?
Like, what is that? Yeah, I have a picture of it somewhere.
Okay.
And then also the very first time, actually, I guess it wasn't the first. Our first news story was the Times, right? The Seattle Times, Garrett. But there's this show out here, and it's like it's called Evening Magazine, and it's, you know, this network that does like the feel good regional stories for like a half hour after the evening news or something. Like, you know, every single city in the world has like something like Evening Magazine. And I was on it once for foraging. They were doing a thing on foraging. So I like knew like the producer who lines up the stories. And when we first started Liminal Seattle, I sent out like her sort of like I wrote a press release, but really it was just like to try and get on her radar. Because I thought like, oh, she would totally be interested in this, and she was. And so we met up with her and we went to this park that was one of the first places somebody had reported something on the map. And supposedly it was this face in a tree, and you can see like a picture that they submitted. There was this freaky looking face in a tree. So we went to the park with this TV crew, and we had no idea where it was, but I had my dowsing rods with me, like a couple of copper L rods. And I got them out, and like, I was like, okay, where's the face in the tree? And they pointed to a tree. We walked across the park and looked up, and it was that exact tree. And they got it like on camera on network TV of us like walking through the park with dowsing rods, and then we look up and there's this like goblin face in a tree.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So ever since like the earliest days of like Liminal Seattle, faces in trees have kind of been a interesting fun sync.
Fun sync.
We should find the link for that and share that. Because I don't know if it's still on the site anymore or not.
For sure.
Yeah.
When we were talking, this popped out, the flower of life, but it represents inspiration, awe, and dreams. So I think that's confirmation that we should talk about your dreams.
It's also funny because like that in my lab, we were actually just talking about nano flowers today and the things that I grow.
Yes.
You know, with origin of life stuff. So
yeah, that's what.
Oh wow. That I whip out the cards here, and yeah, that's really fun. Yep. Spatial awareness, depth, space, and time.
Perfect.
Essential things. Oh, I love it. I'm gonna pull a couple. I'm working with the Mystic Martian Oracle, and I might do a couple of Mushroom Tarot. Jeremy, I know you were wanting to work with the Oracle and maybe give us some good info about it that maybe we haven't heard.
We're kind of coming up to, it's already like 9:12.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
If there's time, if not, then we can do it next week or.
You should do it. You should do it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think you should too. Just maybe like Spark Notes.
Garrett, I just dropped the link to that program in the private chat.
Oh yeah.
But I can't post it. Are you an admin in StreamYard here for us?
Yeah, I'll post it though.
Yeah, post that.
I'll make a better link for it too.
Oh yeah, please do. It's really long and annoying. That was fun. And then remember there was something about bricks that they wanted to talk about? Because you had just moved to Bremerton. And the cameraman was like, "Oh, you should go walking somewhere. There's an old brick
Manchester,
factory."
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. And that made me think of SJ.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, our friend with the bricks.
Mm-hmm.
Friend with bricks.
Yes. Brick Mojo. We have, and I already told them this, but we have an actual piece of a brick from Linda Hazard's old house at Starvation Heights that we're going to send to them. We just need to do it, like time management.
Well, it's also like, how do you send a brick in the mail? I mean,
they do it all the time. Ask them.
Flat rate.
They send bricks like all over the country.
Flat rate.
They just stick it in a flat rate. All right.
They say any weight. I also pulled the Galactic Federation. It's talking about community.
Oh, did we have that a couple weeks ago?
Maybe. I don't remember these as well. I just started using these. I like the idea of it being a party. Like we always have the party themes to come up.
Yeah. So should I talk about this real quick?
I say go for it.
Or do you want to wait? All right. So we just had a question, like somebody who was watching us on TikTok asked a question. Can you talk more about the Oracle of the Hypogeum? Which if you've been following us for a while, you've seen us use it. You might have your own deck. You might have the zine edition, which is kind of cool. You can like cut the cards out, and it's cheaper and faster to get than the deck. but so it's a deck of 48 cards, and you can see I have it here. This is actually the very first one. Like this is the proof copy. So, but it's all here. It's 48 cards, and it's based on Quatrian mythology. And the Quatrians were a supposed ancient civilization that lived in Antarctica like millions of years ago, and had kind of a semi-global culture, but it was their technology was based in using the natural world. So they would communicate using like mycelial networks, and they would make maps. The maps would be like made out of plants that would indicate the way. So if you walk to the hawthorn, then turn right, you'll go to it. So anyhow, the idea is that the civilization, there's not a lot of traces of it anymore, because we can't recognize what they were doing as technology, because we're too stuck in technology has to be human made. Anyhow, they have an elaborate mythology, and we developed an oracle deck based on that mythology. So there are 40 cards that are like called entity cards, and most of them are fairly straightforward, like silence or human or light, or soil or cave. And then there are also a number of them that come from Quatrian mythology. So like Anthor, and that's sort of like the deer god, the antlered deer god of the Quatrian people. Oh, here's the one we were talking about earlier, like life force. And so all of these cards are designed to be very open to the interpretation, the intuition of the person who's doing the reading. So they're not very well defined beyond what is actually on the card itself. And the idea is that using this sort of basic ancient mythological tradition, you can kind of tap into something that's there within all of us, and use this oracle deck to read cards, to do divination and oracular work. There are also special cards in here. There are, so I misnumbered it earlier. So there's there's 8 magicians and 8 monsters, and as you would expect, the monsters are kind of like negative, and the magicians are kind of like positive. But they're based on this tradition called the hypogeum that the Quatrians had, which is, so the hypogeum is like sort of the liminal space, the space between worlds. It's the world, it's the place where like archetypes reside. And in this mythology, around the time of the solstices and equinoxes, like the hypogeum was said to be open and accessible to beings from Earth, but also vice versa. And the sort of festival it's based on is that kind of goes into the deck, is that on or around like Halloween, like that time of year, the hypogeum opens up and the monsters all escape and cause trouble all over the world. But almost right after that, Anthor the stag rides forth with 8 magicians, and they go out into the world and round up all the monsters. And then around the time of Yule, they capture them all and like close the door again. And so that's sort of like the annual Quatrian festival of this event happening. So it's sort of like,
there isn't that whole thing about like Christmas, whereas like instead of 8 reindeer and 1 Santa, it's like the opposite. It's like,
yeah,
Anthor is like Santa, and then there's his 8 magicians that he that, or like his team of 8 magicians, jolly magicians.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So these cards are in there. So you have, the monsters and the magicians, and these actually can affect the way that the cards are read. So for instance, if you're drawing cards and you draw a magician before a monster, it means that magician has captured the monster. And the so if I have, like, let's see, if I draw Mether, who's a magician, the bountiful, and then I draw Keku, who is cruelty, then the magician captures the monster, and this card no longer has the intended effect in the reading. There's also cards. There's a card in the deck called Memlen. I'll see if I can find it.
Why are you saying it out loud, Jeremy?
I know.
Yeah.
Sorry. I should
Like Beetlejuice. Come on, man.
But
Okay.
if you pull this, it means you need to stop doing a reading immediately because you're in danger, and you need to not do any more readings and for at least another cycle of the sun. So there's all these little sort of things built into the deck that make it very dynamic, and it's really cool. The coolest thing about it to me is like how well it works.
Yeah.
We've had people like from all over the world who've used this without knowing anything that I was just randomly babbling on about, and they still have like excellent readings with it. And
Yes.
we get really good readings when we use it in the field. So anyhow, I think did I say enough? Too much?
Yeah, totally. And it's like a super sassy deck.
It is. Yes, it's very sassy.
Is that by design, Jeremy?
And we've
Mr.
been
Jeremy's pretty sassy, so
me.
That's pants.
No, but we've been using it at WUFOs, and we keep coming up like we pull the same things all the time. And I keep thinking like people who watch this event must think there's like 10 cards in this deck. So I wanted to talk a little bit about it to show them it's not just like we get silence, we get mystery.
Thick.
You know, yeah, it's really weird. Oh, we get Mether, that the gourd. Yeah. Oh, also all the magicians are plants, and all of the monsters are animals. Just mythological reasons. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now you know.
now you know.
Now
do you want to
know
pull?
more.
Maybe you should pull two since
Yeah.
you just gave this spiel.
Yeah, sure.
Totally.
Well, I got to
And
shuffle those because I had them all like laid out.
Right.
So
I will say too, Jeremy, I thought that the decks were gonna take like a really long time to ship, but the couple that we ordered recently are already on their way.
yeah,
I think Kai
so-
just got that.
I just said they got theirs.
Yeah, like we sent them out to a couple folks who ordered them and they got theirs a lot quicker than expected. So I'd like to encourage people to order it now if you can, because that's like wild. Usually it takes forever.
Yeah, you can order their print on demand.
Yeah.
So, it does take a while to get them. But there's also the zine version, which we send out. It's not print on demand. Well, actually, I guess it kind of is still print on demand.
Quicker. It's quicker.
But it's quicker. And the zine version works just as well.
So Kai got Life Force, and then I don't know how to say that one. Break
Spite.
the frog-headed one. Toady. Toady's got it. Spite. Ooh.
We were just watching Amphibia. Has anybody seen that show?
No.
It's on Disney. It's really good. It's about a girl who it's tied into like Gravity Falls and Owl House and like that whole universe. But a girl falls through a portal and ends up in a world of frogs.
Oh my gosh.
It's really, really funny. It's very like if you like Gravity Falls, totally worth watching.
Yeah. I'm gonna just get my
Kermit the Frog makes a guest appearance.
Oh, I have to show people my sign. I made a sign. Garrett gave me a sign, so I made a sign.
That's a question.
So I'm gonna hold it, and when we go live for TikTok, like right before the session, I will have it better angled. You might not be able to see it, but y'all that are here kind of get the gist of what we're doing. Folks on TikTok are coming in blind, so I want to help them out a little bit. So I'll just be holding this like. I should get a streak for it.
Amazing.
Or like a piece of that like LED light strip. Azure.
I got
Easy.
asthma. Yeah, the
I always
hilarious.
pronounce things the worst. Okay, the hilarious. We were just giggling.
I know. That was funny. We're laughing a lot
They're
tonight.
laughing with us. Yeah, we are.
This is super serious business, though, just so everybody's clear.
Yeah, like we're professional.
I'm a scientist, okay? I take myself so seriously.
You had like a kind of a funny WUFO experience with the ducks, right?
Oh my god!
Yes.
Maybe
I loved getting that video.
Last time that it was like I had clear skies because now it's like hurricane season, so like it's raining every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, there were 2 ducks having a time. At least one of them
Whoopee.
having a real good time for literally like an hour. I thought this is the end of one of those ducks.
They were
The
having a
whole WUFO, and like a dude walked his dog, and there's these 2 ducks right in front of me just going ham, and I'm sitting there trying to get pictures of
watching
the
it.
stars to get the side quest, and he was like, hi. I was like, don't mind me. I'm just a young professional doing what I do in my free time.
We all have to relax somehow, sir.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
it's like some people chill out in weird ways, okay? Don't judge.
It's like kink shaming.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
come on now.
Get with it.
2022, okay? Some people look for UFOs with, life being made in front of them. I don't know.
You
Studying
want
the
to study the origin of life? I mean,
Yeah. Jeez.
oh, that's
It's for my
amazing.
doctorate, sir.
Doctor research. Check yourself.
Like, I know what I'm talking about.
Sure. Absolutely.
goodness.
Amazing.
On the heels of that, I have some unfortunate news. I pulled my second card.
Uh-oh.
No.
Wow.
Put it away.
Because you said the name. That's what.
I
that's
said
what
that it was my fault, and now I can't use this deck for 24 hours.
That sucks.
Ugh.
What are you gonna do?
When we called, that's the way it goes. Don't say it out loud. I honestly feel the same way about LH from Starvation Nights. I don't even say her name out loud anymore because I don't even want to spend another moment, thinking about her side of the thing. So
Right.
she's you know what too. Almost said it.
All right.
We're about ready to.
So now we're
talk
gonna
about
go
it.
in with the
Gonna make
memlin
it
on our tail. Oh, I said it.
Oh, you said
I said it.
Yes!
Oh, what
This
did
is
I
kind
do?
of like
Me too.
it's saying
Is
the
there anything
Scottish
at all?
way if you're in Shakespeare,
Oh my god.
Leave an offering. Who's got snacks? I got some cheese balls.
I need to
We
leave
fried
something.
it.
Okay,
Oh.
so before we maybe we could come up with some sort of like ritual you can do or a
Right.
rhyme you can say or something.
Don't you have a whistle to kind of push them away?
Yeah, but that's like what's the word I'm looking for? That's prophylactic. Like that's prevention.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I see.
Once you're in their sights, I mean there's really nothing. And it's not because they're like mean. It's just that like they're like blood cells or
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
white blood cells.
Great.
Great.
All right. Well, I'm gonna get ready here.
Okay, so are we two questions? Are we doing what are we doing like specifically? Are we
I'm gonna go under. I think Bex is gonna go under.
and are we just asking questions or
You guys? I don't think we should know what you guys are gonna be doing. You and Adler
okay.
should figure this out. I came up with some ideas. Maybe you have some others like what you want to do, or
That
I
sounds
don't
good.
know. It's up to you. Maybe, yeah. I
And
think
then
it'd be good for us to go blind and not know.
how long are we going for? Like should we or either going to set
I
anything?
like 18. To be honest, 2 loops. That's
Yeah,
what Timmy actually recommends from what I saw. I was waiting for him to DM me back. I should have just asked Jess to ask him. I was waiting to provide y'all the link with the Tenny sounds, but I didn't want to upset Tenny if he didn't want that to be shared, So it was like a tricky thing, and he didn't answer me. So then he shared it on Twitter. So we're all good. Everyone can use it, and we're happy to blast that out now too.
Yeah.
But I think 2 loops is very effective. 18 minutes.
Cool.
We can talk about it after. I'm gonna get some Reese's Pieces, but I left a cheese puff out for you know who. Kind of clear the air. I'll go flush it down the toilet after or something. It'll just absorb all. This is the ritual.
This is the ritual. This is amazing. Now you have it. Now you need like a thingy. So when you like flush it, you need to say like a little like run.
That's it.
Okay.
Alrighty. I'm about ready. What I do is I turn down the volume of my tablet. And I can't hear you guys dirty anymore. I'm gonna hop onto TikTok right now, so I might do like a little thing real quick. Reese's Pieces.
Well, maybe the ritual should be the egg thing.
The egg thing, the traditional evil eye.
Yeah, like to tell if
Identifier.
if they're after you, you know?
Yeah. I look
maybe-
so funny with this sign, you guys. This is awesome. Okay. I'm gonna hop on before we get too
Do it.
get too wild. All right, y'all.
All right, can you hear me?
Yep. I'm gonna
Okay.
not anymore. Hold on.
Oh, there she is. Do an infinite regression.
Oh my goodness.
That is hilarious. It's backwards though. Like it's not
Yeah.
correct. Yeah.
They sang the.
Oh, Garrett's going. What do you want to do? Do you have any questions or anything you want?
Oh my gosh.
All right, tell them.
Specific. Oh, tell them. Maybe they're gonna tell us.
Yeah. No,
Go.
let's just let them lead.
Barbecue.
I was making sure I wasn't muted.
Barbecue.
Hi.
So we've already got food.
Up.
You want a sky barbecue?
Above us.
And if anybody who is watching along has any questions, feel free to share in the chat. Countdown to all your pets going
Be
bonkers.
prepared.
Who's with us tonight?
Expert.
An expert in what?
Did you call?
I'm
There's
seeing
our
what looks like hair follicles from really, really, really close up. Or like the root, maybe one strand of hair, but like magnified.
Where's the barbecue happening?
He said.
Who said?
A voice.
Mechanical.
A mechanical voice? Is Adler the expert?
This too.
Be there.
Are you both experts?
Or do they want us at the barbecue? Be there, be square.
Yeah.
It's so spiritual.
I'm seeing a mullein stalk. Which is weird.
Crawling. Now I'm seeing like a human foot. It's like someone's stepping on glass, and I can see, instead of like a floor, it's glass, but I can see from like the floor below, really close up.
Class.
Unfortunately.
Is Martin here?
A century together.
Where do you go after a century?
Either.
Past. I'm seeing this like swirling water. Or a galaxy or something.
In the evening.
Is the connection good? Is there anything
This is
to have
Hell.
better signal?
bad.
Is there anything we can do to
That's
have a
not
better
it.
signal?
Many.
Many things we can do. Somebody type out the word of the week. Just a random word. First person.
Okay, I just saw something really weird. Okay, so I saw like the bust of something kind of floating. And they had like a fez on, but then their eyelids were like the tentacles of a squid. So it almost looks like they're two squid, or I would say octopus. Like they're two octopi.
They'll
here, and you see the tentacles coming out like eyelashes.
They will appear.
Really weird. Just the bust, though.
That was very clear. I heard hell though.
I think wombat is our winner for our word.
Haunted.
That's a perfect word.
The sky catch. The connection.
So they will appear like physically? Is this a physical?
Something up. Up.
It's cloudy where I'm at. Otherwise, I'd go look.
It's not a show.
Yeah, it's cloudy here too. Looking out the window.
She said it's not a show. Yeah, it's really not a show.
It really is a show.
So I'm seeing the bus floating away, and as it's floating away further, I can see that I'm in space. But it's like not like Milky Way and asteroids and things. It's pretty black void-esque.
It's about you.
They're both in space.
And there was something about that was important, but I've lost it.
Are Bex or Garrett in space right now?
A vision.
A vision.
Like maybe they're just showing them space.
Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah. They just get taken right now.
A ship. Oh, I remember now. I was seeing pink lights for a moment just whiz by me, sort of after the bust.
That's interesting. Go where? This could be related to like the dream things that we were talking about earlier.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. The pink light.
Does it like remind you of something specific or?
Yeah, very specific, but I don't know where this is because this could be.
Yeah.
It could just be like a happenstance thing. So they'll have to be more specific if it is something related to that.
Yeah.
It might not be.
Pink lights.
Keep pushing and pushing.
You're wrong. Work for it.
They're just like
There's
you.
more for you here.
They're both saying the same thing. Like they're saying, like, no, dig further. Like
Yeah.
not the obvious thing. Like keep going. Like
I was
Right.
on fire.
Did you ever read any Philip K. Dick?
mm-mm.
Without
Sci-fi?
a question.
He was being contacted by, like, literally in life, contacted by entities while he was writing.
An indecision.
And he said that it was a satellite that communicated with him using pink light, beams of pink light,
Okay, first loop is ended.
That's really interesting.
like strawberry ice cream pink is what he used to describe it as.
Yeah. That's I never heard of that. So that's interesting to me.
Yeah. Philip K. Dick, Valis is the book.
Okay.
Amazing. He's like, yeah, the pink laser in Valis, one of the commenters said. Yeah.
Sheep.
I
Sheep?
think they're calling us sheep. We're not digging.
Did she say sheep or
Read
cheap?
it.
Listen.
What?
I'm seeing these interesting mushrooms. They're pink mushrooms, and they look a lot like a hydroside of some
Okay.
sort. But they're pink on the outside, and they have these like very
Talk.
yellow, like neon yellow gills, which I've never seen before. I've only seen that on a bolete, and it was pores and gills. But they're bioluminescent.
First.
And they're glowing, like a warm
Briefly.
toned
Disperse.
bioluminescence, not like the usual cool tones that you see.
Huh.
That's interesting.
And they're just illuminating this whole space, but I can't see anything but the mushrooms.
All right.
Like she's describing, he's like, yup, okay,
All right.
good.
So many fish.
So many fish.
It's funny because when she was describing these mushrooms,
Harsh.
I did like a deep sea research thing, like I said, and we found a deep sea. It looked like a mushroom. It was pink and it was bioluminescent. And so
Wow,
she's
hey.
talking about like fish. It was blue though. It was blue bioluminescent.
Can I drop in,
Something else that's interesting.
Truth.
please?
Yes, you may. With Philip K. Dick, the first time he experienced the pink beam, there was a woman delivering
To go.
medicine to him, and she was wearing a Christian fish.
Fishing for poison.
That's also what is happening. When I was having like the peak of my weird UFO dreams and physical things, I used to wear one of those Christian little blue glass fish.
Wow. And he said, like, he looked at the fish, and that's when it was just like,
Lots.
Yeah. Okay.
apparently you have some reading to do.
I have some homework.
Basis. I'm
Yeah, I-
seeing the sunrise on this really gorgeous beach. White sand. It's a rather red sky for a sunrise, so you know what they say about that. Sailors say. It's very red. Wow.
Sunrise, did she say, or sunset?
Sunrise.
Sunrise. So, a bad omen.
Storm's coming.
Yeah, the transmigration to
Closer.
yeah.
Closer.
Things that are
In general,
Judy.
Judy.
It sucks to be Judy.
Don't talk to me about Judy. In Twin Peaks season 3, like the mother god of chaos is referred to as Judy.
fitting.
Collaborate.
You want to collaborate?
Starting to see like all of these like touristy things about Milwaukee. I'm seeing a lot of stuff about Milwaukee. Places to go.
Places to go in Milwaukee.
Looking at something.
Yeah.
Milwaukee.
Push and shove. I think it was like in the context of when push comes to shove, like that's a common saying.
Yeah. The bronze font, yeah. Someone on TikTok just said, "What's your favorite song?"
A creature creator.
We're on. Hey.
Hey.
Hello. I wonder if whoever's talking to Garrett, this is like a new experience. Because they're like Bex is talking and they're like, yeah, sure. Like,
yeah, it seems that
like you're doing it with us. They're like, yeah, okay. It's WUFO.
People from everywhere. On this side.
On that side.
I heard it say run and then walk.
This is ancient. This is knowledge.
Call.
Ancient has come up a couple of times.
Mm-hmm. I've had that come up too.
A basin. Like a BASIN.
Kitty.
The same way. Heard someone say, Marco.
Polo. We're here.
Ratchet.
This is a player's game.
Polo.
Get what you want out of it.
I've got to step away for just 1 sec. I'll be right back.
Shipping and all.
Shipping and all. Can you manifest physically? Or do you only manifest non-physically? That's something that has come up.
Portable. As well.
More immediate.
There's so many. Nachos.
So many nachos.
Direction of the water.
Go towards the water for
That
nachos.
sounds so good.
Where's your favorite place to get nachos?
Shimmy, shimmy.
The food dance?
I'm hearing a high-pitched whine
Professional
now.
opinion.
I don't know where that's from.
Yeah, we want to know the professional opinion. Where's the best place to get nachos? Here or elsewhere? It's very important.
I get wanting to be comfortable.
Depth.
Sorry about that. Did I miss anything?
Emotion.
You missed emotions.
wow.
Lots of nachos. I
What
think
next?
they like nachos. Yeah, what next?
Good question.
I was trying to ask them where their favorite place to get nachos was.
Number 5.
Number 5.
This is the way.
This is the way. Yep. But to where? I want to know
Okay,
where
that was the second we just completed, so I'm gonna
They're coming.
go ahead and
Who's
end the
coming?
session.
Sit.
So many nachos.
I don't have my sound on, so I won't be able to hear you
Guilty.
guys until I manually turn on.
Can you tell us the word of the day? Can you tell us anything about Philip K. Dick?
One second.
Here.
Where is here?
Very good. The high pitched ringing again.
Yeah, that's we're all hearing that. That's like something technical. Is Bex talking?
I don't know.
Really interesting. Like,
Oh, okay. She's talking on TikTok.
Oh, okay.
Is my water charged properly?
Richard.
Nachos combo meal number 5. That actually sounds really good.
Maybe I'll need to make some nachos
Yeah.
at our barbecue. Apparently, we're having
Yes.
nachos at our Sky barbecue.
That heavy?
Is what heavy?
Open and shut. Now.
I don't know what to open and shut.
okay, I'm back.
What's that clicky?
It's me turning up the volume.
Oh, cool.
I can't actually like adjust the volume of buttons, unfortunately, but it's kind of glad people know like I'm legit doing it. So
Yeah. Well. Your tachos. Next week, nachos.
oh, that sounds so good. Okay,
I
I'm
know.
gonna write that down.
Right now.
I need to go get some tortilla chips. I have a tortilla chip problem for a minute, so banned myself from eating. Anyways, eat too many bags of chips. Looks like Garrett's coming out. Ooh.
Yep. How you feeling?
Tired. Oh, Garrett muted himself.
I've returned.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Whoa. How do you
Welcome
feel?
back.
Okay. It was very choppy sounding tonight.
Interesting.
I had a really weird visual thing that happened though. It's like seeing like this swirling white, felt like a whirlpool or galaxy thing, and then that thing like under the ocean where you just looks like lots of like dirty water, like little white things floating in the water kind of thing, just like whatever that is. I don't even know.
Marine snow.
Yeah, marine snow. I felt like that, and that was just really weird because I've never had that effect visually with those lights before. There's a couple like different. It changes like modes kind of, and sometimes there's this like weird spotlight feeling. Sometimes it's really geometric, but this one was the white. I got that white marine snow kind of vibe. It was really cool. Yeah, it was interesting.
Cool.
We
had nachos come up.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really.
not so nice.
Yep.
That's awesome.
I was wondering something food related that brings up real quick, because if I don't say it, then it'll go away.
Yeah.
I wonder if because you remember the Joe Simonson pancakes?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had no salt.
Mm-hmm.
What if we were to try to leave some sort of offering that didn't have salt in it?
Oh.
Like, is the stuff we're getting? I mean, I know that like they might be asking for these things, but just out of curiosity, because that's what we have so many snack references here, because they asked for pretzels and hot dogs and
that's all salty stuff. Yeah.
It's all salty stuff. It's all really salty. It's all junk food, basically.
Yeah.
But I wonder what, So are these guys different than the ones who like visited Joe and gave him the salt-free pancakes?
I don't know. That's interesting.
All right, sorry.
No, that's
Now
good.
I like
we've got it down.
I feel like I've given them like just like flowers a couple of times as offerings. But it would be cool to like intentionally try it under like fixed circumstances and seeing if anything is different.
Oh, they asked for water,
Mm-hmm.
just like Joe's.
Oh yeah, they did.
I saw a really wild thing. Really wild. It honestly just looked like the head from like here up of like some creature. It was bizarre. I'm really snacky after. Naturally, right? So I saw this like bust. It was like a human head almost. Humanoid at least. It was floating in this like black void type situation, and as it came closer to me, I saw that its eyelids were actually like two octopi and their eyelashes were tentacles. And it was really weird.
That's trippy.
I see it like floating away, and then I see these pink lights kind of go after it really quick. It was weird, and then I don't know where I was next. I'm having some hard time remembering this one as well. But that creature stuck out. I was like, what?
We had some pink sinks. Garrett, you would appreciate this. There's some like PKD synchronicities. So like pink lights, like we saw, and
like rods, kind of, like, or is it something to...
When he saw them, you mean, or
yeah?
I can't remember exactly. All I know is that they were coming from Valis, the ancient satellite.
Yeah.
And then what triggered it was when he saw. What is it? We kept hearing that.
Yeah. Does it normally do this, Max? Just like
you have a setting turned on for like the temperature, probably.
Oh.
I think it's something you have to hold down.
Yeah.
It's like singing to me. What is it?
It's your temperature.
Turn off.
I was trying to see where it is on.
That's
is it
tech
Valis?
expert, ladies and gentlemen.
Fine.
There's like a thing on the side that says temp, and you like hold it.
Oh, there you go. Got it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Jesus.
No,
there it goes again.
I blame Jeremy and the M word.
Oh gosh, yeah, I know.
Messing with us. Okay.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking we do the egg thing.
Yeah.
You got to do the egg to find out if that's what it is. So the
pink rods or the pink.
Yeah, the pink like, and he saw that right after, because he saw that there was a woman who was delivering him medicine for a toothache. So I like Philip K. Dick is really big in like the Gnostic scene. And I used to be like very involved in that scene. And so I know a lot more about Philip K. Dick than people probably should. So yes, this happened to him in real life. He had, and then he put it into this book. He had a toothache, and somebody came from the pharmacy to deliver him pain medication. It was a woman wearing one of those little gold Christian fish. And that's when he saw like the pink beam of light that sort of gave him the revelations that basically that we're still living in an iteration of ancient Rome. But there's more and less to it than that. I don't know. What do you think, Garrett? How do you've read him?
Yeah, the Empire never ended.
Yeah, the Empire never ended. The Roman Empire never ended. So like what we live in reality is like a fractal overlay of like the same patterns that existed during the Roman Empire. And so he sort of like lifted off that veil, and there's alien intelligences involved that may or may not be God. And yeah, it's so good. Such good stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's like, and like the Black Knight satellite kind of thing, like this ancient satellite.
Yeah, and a lot of like really prophetic, like scary prophetic stuff.
Mm.
Yeah.
One of his books, they're like, you read them and you're like, holy crap, he's talking about like the rise of right-wing fascism in the United States. So
You never read them. They're really good.
oh yeah. Yeah, I'll tweet out some links.
Awesome.
Yeah, so there was that sort of pink light and fish
What
connection.
moments like stood out for you, Adler?
Well, we were talking because it was kind of funny because you were under Bex and like it felt like something was talking, and then whoever was talking to Garrett felt like part of WUFO, where you were saying things and he was like, "Okay, yep," like, "All right," like just with us, like, "Oh yeah, okay, sure."
Yeah, that was really funny.
like
Like-
just continuing, and you'd
Like-
bounce off of each other like that.
Like
Yeah.
they were hanging out too, kind of. What?
Yeah, it was kind of like they came in, and they're
tuning
like,
in to
"Ah,
Bex.
yeah."
Yeah.
Martin's
Like
wanting to
cheerleading.
also. Yeah.
It was
He's
like
been
another
awesome.
guest, and it was like, is this their first time popping in? And they're
Yeah.
just like, oh yes, okay. So we sit here and we listen to this person,
Yeah.
That's amazing.
That's
and we kind of
hilarious.
just nod and go, "Yep, I hear you. Okay, great."
Garrett channeled a woofer, a woofoer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
So
amazing.
can we
Talk
say
about,
that
like,
we go
You
ahead.
talk about like, the ocean and fish, and you'd be like, "Fish," like like
That's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
I love too that like we could potentially say now that because I love that we have like participants in like Australia and UK and things, but I feel like now we have intergalactic participants in Garrett's channeling.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, right.
Woofoer from another place.
yeah. At one point, like even you said, Bex, you're like, "There's a lot of us over here."
Mhm.
Oh wow.
Like on this
What are-
side, I think is what you said.
Yeah,
We're
on this
doing,
side. That's right.
Wednesday Human Watch.
That's it exactly.
They're watching people talk trash to us in the TikTok comments. It's great. Alex, I tracked down the apartment he was living in Vallis. Vallis happened and didn't check it out before I had to move. Oh, wow. That's cool that you tracked that down. Awesome. Well, it is 10:02. We have some closing remarks. Adler, where can people find you? And do you have any cool things that you're looking forward to doing here soon?
Well, I mean, I'm only on Twitter and Instagram at Adler Kuper, and so I really just retweet like Moby Dick quotes and then like random things. So like, pure chaos is
We're here for it.
It makes no sense. I'm probably very annoying, and so if you want to insight in my brain, you can just look at the Twitter. But that's really it. But now that it's sort of summertime in Florida, I've started going to places and doing my own sort of explorations. There's some kind of weirdness that's starting back up. Weird dreams have started back up for me. So we'll see on this end where that goes. So I can't like give details because, can't influence. But I'll be getting back into weirdness also. So maybe we can, we'll talk more about that stuff.
Yes.
But yeah, so back out to exploring. So everybody should go out and explore if you can, now that it's sunny and warm. And, that's really it. That's all I'm doing besides science.
Well, if you ever start heading back in the direction of St. Augustine, let me know.
Oh,
I can
yeah.
give you some serious pointers to some really weird places that nobody but like the locals know. So
See, that'd be great. I only live 3 hours away, and that's very much a chaos me where it's like, I'm going to get up on a Saturday and just drive away. So,
That's like, my favorite thing to do.
have you been to Casadega yet?
oh, yes, of course I have.
Okay.
I left my watch there, actually. So,
Yeah.
so yes, they have my time is what they have at Casadega.
That's like a town full of psychics in
Oh, wow.
like the Florida swampy areas.
It is such a weird little town.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing. All right. Garrett, Jeremy, any last remarks?
Donate wufo.watch/donate.
Yep.
If you can afford to send some cash to this organization that is raising funds for families of the victims in Texas. Yeah, please
Yeah.
do. So
And yeah, make sure to check out Liminal Mall tomorrow. Tomorrow or the next day, we got some new stuff coming, and we're real excited. And Garrett giving us nightmare fuel. Why?
Fluke, man.
Why though? I hate everything.
Oh man.
I'm gonna like cut your camera, Garrett. An admin. Okay, can you explain? Is there an explanation?
Fluke, man.
I feel like it's
Oh,
better
you're
than
muted,
it's not,
Garrett.
though.
Garrett, you're muted. You're muted.
I opened some X-Files season 2
my
cards.
Gosh.
I was just seeing if there's any clues in here. I
Clearly.
got these from SJ and Andrea.
Yeah.
And you know, I haven't really watched X-Files because I was too scared, so I don't know who this is, but
That's Fluke, man.
Fluke Man, okay.
Fluke, man. Yeah, look him up. It's a very like iconic character.
Oh, Garrett, Amanda Paulson's watching the X-Files for the first time. And so now would be a really good time to hop on the wagon. There's a lot of conversation happening around watching it for the first time in your adulthood. And I've only seen a couple seasons. So yeah, now's the time, my friend.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Me
I'm
too,
ready.
I got you.
I'm with
Oh,
you
there
here.
was a-
I also have not seen it.
Yeah.
Bex was talking about Judy.
Oh, from
Who's
Twin
Judy?
Peaks.
Twin Peaks.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was like she just said Judy, and I was like, we don't talk about Judy, or what is it from like Fire Walk with Me that David Bowie says?
I haven't seen Fire Walk.
Right.
I haven't seen that sequel.
Yeah. And then Judy in like this third season, it's like the term they use to describe the like mother goddess of chaos that birthed like the nuclear apocalypse, or I don't know. Anyhow, it's
Yeah.
Twin Peaks. Yeah.
Is there like
Judy.
is X-Files on Netflix? It'd be kind of fun to do like a Netflix party kind of thing.
Yeah.
Watch them together.
Hulu.
I would love to do
Just
that
go
with
Max?
other people. If other one people,
Yeah.
Because you know, doing it by myself, I think I would be freaked out. So
Okay. Some
you
people
should have
left-
to watch anything like that during the day.
Hmm,
I'm not afraid to admit this.
that's fine. No shame.
It
No shame.
just like
We
gets my
can-
mind all worked up, and then like
Hulu
Yeah.
says Kai.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a
Oh,
couple
fun.
of
Let's look into it.
there's a
it'd
couple
be
of
fun.
sites that we could use to watch the same screen. I think we just have to log in through the streaming site and then give people a link, if I'm not mistaken. But it's
That'd
been
be
a while, been a few years.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Let's look
For
into
sure.
it.
We'll figure it out.
Thanks so much,
Alrighty.
Adler, for coming.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thanks
thank
for
you.
having me.
So
I love
fun.
you all so much. Literally my favorite
Aw.
people. So
Well,
Thank you.
I love you. And I can't wait to see like these Florida adventure videos that are
Yeah.
coming.
oh yeah,
Yes.
pure chaos. So I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. There also may be an adventure kitty joining the crew. So there may be very soon a little ball of adventure who's
That's
going to be harnessed
exciting.
mind.
That's perfect.
So, you know, if you're gonna follow me very soon, it might just literally be filled with kitten photos. So
You heard it
Nice.
here first.
yeah, you heard it here first, and I'm too excited. I'm literally waiting any day to go pick up a kitten from a rescue. So
Oh my gosh, that is so
I've been
exciting.
approved. I'm literally just waiting for the text that says, please come get this kitten. So,
Wow.
Send
so
all the
exciting.
pics, please.
oh, you'll get be sick of this kittens.
One could hope. Alrighty. Well, thanks everyone.
Thanks,
Maureen,
everybody.
Alex, Kai, Joe, all of the OGs and beyond.
David.
We love you so much. And we hope that you find
Yellow Moon.
some peace and some fun tonight when you're looking up.
Mhm.
Until next time.